Okay, so I could also be more efficient in how I print out the numbers in the array and put that in a for loop as well. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that in a function to show you how to pass an array to a function. So with a function, the first thing I need to do is, and I should be putting some comments in here, declare the function. So I need a function declaration. Let's see, just adding some comments here. Create array variable okay, and then the for loop here is to enter values into array from the user, and then down here I was printing out array values. And this is the part that I'm going to replace with a function. So the function I create, it's not going to return anything, so that's going to be a void. I'm going to use it to print my array, so I'm going to give it the name print array. Not too creative, but definitely descriptive, which is what we want. So the function name should be, should indicate what the function is actually doing. So it's going to print the array. Then, in order to get it to print the array, I need to send it the array. So the array is of type integer, and then I need square brackets, empty square brackets, to indicate that that what we're sending to this function is in fact an array. Then I also need to send it another integer, which is how many items are in the array, because the function is not going to know that automatically. So that declares my function, and I'm going to copy that declaration, and I'm going to go down past my main program where I am going to define my functions. So remember, when you define a function, there is no semicolon, so I delete that, and then I'm going to put my open and close brackets. The other thing I need to do is give names to what the print array function is taking in so that it can use those values in the function itself. So I'm just going to call this num array, and I'm going to call this one size because it's going to represent the size. I'll call it size of array. Okay, so then what I could do is have a similar for loop to what I had up here. I'm going to copy that, and remember, this function can't see numbers. It can only see what's been sent to it, which is num array and size of array. So what we wanted to print out was the values in the array. So that would be num array index I, and that would have the effect of printing out those values. Expected int num array. Okay, and I've got a mistake here because when you put the variable name in, the square brackets have to go there. So now it knows that that num array is an array. And okay, and instead of this for loop going to 0 to 5, we want to make it generic so it could handle any size of array. So we're sending this function the size of the array, and we're going to go from 0 to I less than size of array. And then, so we've declared our function up here. We've defined our function down here. Oops. The only thing that's left for us to do is actually use our function. So instead of all this, I can call the function print array. It's not equal to anything because it doesn't return anything, and I'm going to send it numbers, and I'm going to send it 5, which is the size of the array. Semicolon. Now let's see that run. Enter a number. I'm going to say 45, 58, 36, 25, 12. And I get 45, 58, 36, 25, 12. What I could add down here is an end L, so those are on separate lines and we could actually read them. I'm going to build that again. Notice that because I got the array to loop, or I got the loop to do the printing out, I only had to make one end L change instead of 5, which is great. So this time I'm just going to say 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I've successfully used a function to do the printing of my array instead.